And welcome back to the Hotline. We're talking all the things that happen in qualifying for the Bahrain Grand Prix on Saturday, with one big caveat kind of breaking at the time of recording. Yeah, put a cat among the pigeons. Mercedes have a penalty. Oh dear. Yes, Mercedes have a penalty, so let's start with that penalty. Russell and Antonelli, not necessarily their fault, but they headed into the pit lane under red flag conditions, and that was before race control had announced a restart time at Formula One's Bahrain Grand Prix. There he is, that's the George of the Russell, and because of that reason, they've got a penalty. So after Q2, it was red flag because of a crash with a certain Haas driver named Esteban Ocon. And then both Mercedes drivers were sent into the pit lane. This was before race control had announced the start time. Apparently, it was an estimated approximate start line, but it wasn't official, was the rumour. And both of them are going to receive a one-place grid penalty. Now, in their verdict, the FIA stewards explained that Mercedes' head of trackside engineering, Mr. Chauvelin, owned up for a mistake interpreting the timing screen's messages from race control. The team representative, it said, Mr. Chauvelin, in evidence, stated that he gave the instruction for the cars to be released in error, having misinterpreted the message posted on page 3 of the timing screen. Estimated restart time to be a message advising the actual restart time. Advising. So it wasn't official. An easy mistake to make for you and I, yes, but at the top of the sport, probably not. So George Russell is not qualifying as high as he is. The social media hasn't quite updated at the time of recording, so we're guessing it will at some point. But P1 to a certain Oscar Piastri, absolutely well done. He absolutely ruined Lando Norris, and a lot of people suggested that he would get that P1. He would get that qualifying. He looked good in Japan. He looked good in China. And he's just improving. The confidence is rising. What on earth is going on with Lando Norris? And we'll definitely get into that in a bit. There we go. This was I mean, you can see a very dejected Lewis Hamilton there. But there was Oscar Piastri, very happy. I mean, you know, to be fair, he's basically the equivalent of Kimi Raikkonen when it comes to Australians in terms of emotions. But I can assure you he's happy. Thumbs up, a wave to the crowd. It was a good lap. And from free practice to it, in hindsight, looking back, it never looked in doubt, did it? It never, ever really looked in doubt. This is your current grid as of before the penalties. It was Piastri P1. Now Leclerc is going to move up to P2. And then it will be Russell P3, I'd imagine. Gasly is going to move up to P4 on the second row. And they're essentially going to swap. And then we got Verstappen, Norris in 6th. Norris in 6th. I know. I mean, Verstappen in 7th, Sainz, Best Williams in 8th, and he's going to be really happy. But there we go. Alex Albon could have got through had it not been for a very late penalty, 45 minutes, when Nico Hülkenberg got a deleted lap time. What an absolute joke. Jokes all round. The top of the echelon, you're giving someone 45 minutes in qualifying, which does affect ridiculous. Lewis Hamilton, not particularly great. I mean, no, Tsunoda in Q3, the first second Red Bull car in Q3. The first time they've had 2 Red Bull cars this year in Q3. So well done, Yuki Tsunoda. And as you can see, he's not too far away from Max Verstappen, but they are struggling with the car. Doing 11, just missing out on that top 10, sadly. I think a fairly solid result. Not great, solid for doing. Hadjar 12th, Alonso 13th, Ocon 14th, Albon 15th. Hülkenberg down to 16th, Lawson disappointing in 17th, 18th Bortoletto, 19th Stroll, 20th Bevan. There's a reason 19th Stroll and 20th Bevan. If I remember, we'll certainly get into it. I don't want to see Arsenal versus Brentford FC, but I want to see this. This is Lando Norris's interview. This is the most nonchalant interview I remember Lando Norris having.
In that turn 1 in quali.
Nothing. No, just
okay, let's. That was so low. Let's just play it again. Okay, are you ready?
What happened out there in that turn 1 in quali?
Nothing. No, just too slow.
So why do we see you P6?
Because I'm not quick enough.
Not good enough, you know.
I mean, there's almost like a sarcastic smile there. You know, nothing, I'm just too slow. He beats himself up. And this is the problem with Lando. The thing I worry about, kind of almost a bit like Hamilton, but Hamilton seemingly in his career when he looked back has got over it. He beats himself up verbally. He's very hard on himself, kind of like Leclerc as well. And does he talk himself out of a race win? Would he talk himself out of a championship by not believing? PMA, positive mental attitude, Lando.
No, you're not saying that, are you?
I'm not saying I'm not good enough. I'm saying I'm not quick enough.
That was all today.
And you say I'm not quick enough in Q3 out there.
Yep.
That comes to
Look
me
at
as
him.
quite surprising.
Yeah, but he clearly does not want to be there, does he? I mean, check out that. I can understand. It is part of his job, sadly. But he doesn't want to be. He's so disappointed and dejected.
After pace all weekend, the pace is in the car. What went wrong, Don? Or where were you
What
lacking?
went
Can you tell us?
wrong, Lando?
I don't know. If I knew, I'd be much happier. But no, I have just no idea. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know how to drive at the minute. So
And there you go. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know how to drive it. Well, what on earth? I mean, no. And it's stuff like this. I think Oscar will lap everyone, so I'll try to get to second, I guess. Yeah. Not the mentality of a champion. Yeah, he is. He does say he's come out and said he's missed a nice car. He doesn't want to win it like by bashing cars like some other champion. Okay, I get it. We all know who that's referring to. I get it. But it's not the right mentality, is it, for Lando Norris? It's not good. Lando, sort it out, please. This is not good mentality at all. I mean, Lando explains his disappointing qualifying. Let's see if there's any other quotes. I didn't even go a tenth quicker. I'm just not quick enough. He said, honestly, no idea. Just not quick enough again. It's just another day. We'll look into things to see why I was struggling today. Nothing, you know. He further asked what he needs to do to pick himself up for tomorrow. And he answered, nothing, go to sleep. Yeah. This guy here, though, P5, now P4 probably on the front row. Second row, sorry. Pierre Gasly, what an awesome performance. I mean, Alpine were very quick in testing, and they showed again here. Big thumbs up. I mean, look, he's ahead of Lando Norris and Max Verstappen. So he's ahead of the championship leader / favourite going into this year, and the 4-times champion, in arguably better cars. Well done, Gasly. Well done, Pierre Gasly. Will Red Bull be thinking, oh no, maybe we should have had him in rather than Perez, Lawson? So P7, P10 for Max and Yuki. Good for Yuki. I guess Max, probably the best that car was going to get when you look at how close those two are. Are they going to be struggling for the race? Maybe. The one bit of hope is in China they were struggling, but in their last segment of the race, Max really came good with the tyres and the tyre wear. So let's talk about Ferrari. P3 and P9. I mean, disappointing for P2 now for Leclerc. P9 for Hamilton, really disappointing. Not happy with the car. It's sounding a bit like it was when he was with Mercedes. I'm sure his race pace will be better. Will he finish P9? I'm hoping not. I think he's going to finish a bit further up, but clearly a bit of work to do with Lewis Hamilton. Having said that, he's nailed it. He's won the Chinese sprint. He got the Chinese sprint pole. We know he can do it. That was only a few weeks ago. And Leclerc on unexpected Bahrain, well, now P2 start rather than P3. And he said, honestly, I didn't expect P3. I knew that in Q3 there was some lap time. I knew that in Q1 and Q2 I just had to be patient and wait for the track to come to us. And it did. So, qualifying result, it's now P3 and P5, but neither of them, not necessarily their fault. It was the team's fault. People were hoping there wouldn't be a sporting penalty, but I guess they had to because you can't, with the medical cars driving down the pit lane or out and about, let's say, and you shouldn't be out there under red flag conditions. You enter the pit lane. I completely get it. It's just really frustrating for Mercedes, and I feel sorry because Kimi had his best qualifying, didn't he? And George, best qualifying of the year, starts P3, and it's a fairly lengthy-ish run to the first corner, so he might get a good slipstream. He might end up P2 anyway, because it's Piastri and Charles Leclerc. This was Aston Ocon. I don't know what happened there. It was near where the Roman Grosjean crash was, not too far from there almost. And yeah, it just looked a bit sim racery, mistakery, didn't it? But there we go. We're glad to confirm Esteban is okay after his Q2. Well, not as bad as Jack doing. That was just awful, wasn't it? That was horrendous. So P16 and P18 for the Stake F1 team. Well, yeah, okay. That's about as good as that is about as good as they're going to do. Hulkenberg will be happy. Out-qualified Bortoletto again. P13 and P19 for Stroll and Alonso. Alonso P13, Stroll P19. Apparently there was an issue with the floor for Lance Stroll, which is why he was slow. sadly. I mean, once again, he has had a good start to the season. Is it ebbing away now? But at least it seems that this bad qualifying wasn't his fault. Last but not least, the Racing Bulls. Lawson P17, disappointing, but there was an issue apparently with his DRS, so there's a reason. Isaac had just shy of the getting into Q3 P12. He was, I tell you what, he was looking better. He was looking at some point the best Red Bull driver in Bahrain, which is something. Could he get points? Absolutely he could. And people are loving Isaac Hadjar after his melancholy start to Australia. He is absolutely doing gangbusters in Bahrain and onwards. So if you made it to the end, thank you very much. And if you did make it to the end, give us a subscribe. If you are not, hit the notification button so you don't miss a video. But ultimately, you just clicking on this and making it this far is more than enough for us, making us smile. If you want to do a bit more, hit that like button. Comment below. Let us know who you think. What are your thoughts on qualifying? But until then, thanks for watching. Speak to you soon. And above all else, stay safe.